work that will all depend on you and prayers that will all depend on God. Innovative and progressive intervention. We're all really passionate about education, passionate about careers.
Welcome to the Leadership Podcast. Nkox The Leader here. Thank you so much for actually tuning in from wherever you are. Chances are you're actually tuning in from home. We're all in a total lockdown right now. And it's a beautiful time for us content creators because content remains king. And I'm joined by gents who are back on the podcast. Welcome back, gents.
Thank you.
Mpo
It's great
and
to
Will.
be back. It's great to be back.
You guys have quite an audience that loves you, man. Backed by a popular demand. People were actually asking me, when are those guys coming back to the podcast?
Yeah, I wonder what we said, eh?
Yeah.
Clearly, you guys were a hit.
Yeah.
Gents, it's a total lockdown, and I've never been in this position before. Have you guys been?
No.
Maybe you guys have passed the arrests that we don't know of. This is your time to
No.
Look, I don't know. I don't think even the prisoners are looking forward to a lockdown. You know?
Yeah.
They're
Don't you
not-
think it's going to be easier for them, though?
It should be.
What
should be.
what changes?
Less
for prisoners?
monitoring, less. On the other side is more.
No, more
on-
hygiene measures. Security is intensified on daily basis, so I don't think it can be as easy.
But I think the weird thing for me
No
is seeing
visits.
the military. Well, that has never
the
happened.
prisons, yeah,
Will probably
military
happen,
prisons.
during back in the 70s.
Can you drive long distance during this lockdown?
Permission only.
You can't.
I think.
So you have to apply for something.
Lockdown is lockdown.
Lockdown, it's basically, Nkox, it's the last resort that the president can take by bringing in military in his own state. You understand what it means?
Yeah.
So it's a state of emergency, basically. So the country is at a lockdown with certain exceptions. So it's not yet a total shutdown, because total shutdown means no one moves.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I get
but
you,
at
I
least
get
now
you.
only essential. In fact, it's a complete lockdown
It is a complete
because
lockdown.
only essential services are allowed.
Yeah.
If you know what I
At
mean.
least you're still allowed to go draw money, but as to where you're gonna use the money is another matter altogether.
I saw people are also stockpiling,
Yeah,
you know,
the same panic
unnecessarily
that we
because
were-
the shops are going to be open. The president did announce that shops are going to be open. You can go do your groceries. It's not going anywhere.
the banks will be open. I don't understand the
But
panic.
it's, those are look for me. I bought myself about 4 tins of maheu.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't wanna like go every
Run out.
day
Yeah.
looking for maheu. These guys are going.
Doesn't Maheu qualify as an essential?
It's an essential thing. I need that. I function very well after.
Listen,
him.
one
Well,
thing.
for me as a vegan,
Yeah.
just go backyard, take
Ah,
a
when are you
couple of
good?
veggies out and cook, and I'm
do you
good.
have a garden in your house?
Yes,
Okay.
but I hope the next question is, am I responsible for the garden? No.
Okay.
Somebody else was doing
Or
that.
maybe
Okay.
they,
I just go get
maybe
stuff.
they just that's certain things.
Yeah, I know.
that is planting in there.
I just
that's
go
what I
get
think.
stuff and cook, and I get
Listen,
much further.
something that I want us to talk about today is the first thing that I thought about as I was observing the reactions to the lockdown is most of us are actually scared to be alone.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Solitude is very scary for most people. So I wanted to talk about solitude,
Sure.
the state of being alone,
Wow.
state of being oneness with yourself, right?
Wow.
There's a book called Solitude is the School of Genius. It's by a guy called Anthony Storr. He's a psychologist. I read this book back in 2010. And I immediately thought of this book because the book explores various aspects of solitude. Hence the thought-provoking title, Solitude is the School of Genius. Now, I noticed that a lot of people are actually scared of being alone because the one trending fundament or one common discussion is around what are we going to do?
Yeah.
With those of us who don't have partners,
Yeah.
what is in it for us? I need to get a partner before,
Got
whatever.
2 days, yeah.
Yeah, whatever the case might be. So for you guys, did that even cross your mind? The solitude aspect, the aspect of there's going to be a time where I have to be alone in this period.
To me, not so.
Yeah, no, even.
It's probably, when you cycle, when you run, you spend the whole, whatever, 2-3 hours or by yourself.
Yeah.
You're
So
forced
you
to
cycle.
meditate. I cycle, I run.
Okay.
So you're actually, it's an indirect meditation because you have to distract yourself because it could get tough to run for 20 odd kilometers or cycling for 30, 40, 50 kilometers. But probably it's a different story if you are now confined because I think the whole thing, not being able to see, not be able
Claustrophobia
to
kicking in.
interact
It's the freedom.
with other than the 3-4 people in
And
your
freedom
in
is
your
also a
household.
mental state.
Yeah, no.
So the fact that you're cognizant of the fact that you're confined can
That might
also
add to the
add-
anxiety.
yeah.
and, yeah. From that point of view, probably it's a different matter.
yeah, because you can't cycle. Well,
Yeah.
so now it's going to be a different type of solitude.
Yeah.
No, maybe
Have
you
you
thought
can-
about that?
Maybe you can
Never
cycle
thought about
within the yard, especially.
Oh, we also don't know how big his yard is, so let's not
No, he's
assume.
got space. You could go to the other side, come back, and then
with a bike.
yeah, it's
Does if you're living in like an estate, you can still cycle.
yeah,
you
you
can
can.
still cycle. Yeah.
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 So there we go.
So
You
it's
can
not
do,
as
but you
bad.
can be 40 kilometers. But
have you
probably just
had a
about 3.
problem with solitude?
Look, and I prefer that.
Really?
Yeah, no, I reflect a lot. That's why, like, with my sleeping patterns, is that like 2-3 a.m. I wake up. So I do
When I wake
all.
up at 3:30
Yeah.
every day.
Yes, and I reflect.
Not out of love of solitude or any of those things.
Okay. It's just your body.
It's a
clock.
habit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I'm able to read or to come up with weird things,
Yeah.
and they change altogether. 8 o'clock when everyone is awake. But for me, it's the perfect time to think about.
I think
things
it would
and-
be interesting, Abdul, to stay in that 21 days with no other challenges that comes with the real reasons why we are in the lockdown. Because people severely affected by the virus. You understand?
Yeah.
I think we would find ways to live with the 21 days. With the hope that maybe after 21 days, then they say, "Oh, go back to your normal routine." But it I don't know. It's just a question of us.
But now here's the other thing. In psychology, they say it takes about 21 days to adapt into a new habit.
Yeah. So we might
Wonder
get
how can
used
I-
to the solitude.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
also, why? Okay, I guess then maybe one might say because of our everyday routines, we're constantly around people most of the time, that it's very difficult for us to acclimatize to a lengthier period of being alone. Because I myself was thinking around if load shedding were to hit
Sure.
at home
What do you do?
and all my devices were not fully charged, or I forgot to charge my devices, what would I do? And immediately I eliminated all the other possibilities because there are things to do. But I actually instantly got anxiety because I started then worrying and saying imagine chilling in silence alone.
Yeah. And the fact that we, on average, check our phones 150 times a day.
Yep.
So if you don't have that distraction, how do you then fill up that space?
Yep.
What do you do? There's no electricity.
Ooh, this is interesting. As we're podding, there's actually a helicopter of SANDF flying through.
Yes. No,
So we're already in.
It's the time. It's the time.
It doesn't get official.
Get
in this.
used to it.
This is quite interesting.
No, that's the effort. Look, reality, like I said earlier, this is the only decision that the president can take after all has been tried and tested is to put the country in the state that it's in.
Yeah.
So this is no joke. It's a military operation. They are in control. You understand? So that's where now you start seeing the difference between a civilian and military personnel. So you will see him, and you'll get used to it. We're getting used to it now as we see them. You're getting used to the understanding that there is the state and there is people. You understand? That's why, as a president, just to give you an example, a president remains the public property even after their time in office.
Yeah.
You understand? So,
hence we still refer to President Mbeki, President Zuma until this day.
Yes. So that's why when they die, they lie in state. For they lie in state. So when they die, they lie in state. The state they put them in whether in like what Mandela they did with Mandela.
Okay.
So that's lying in state for maybe 3 days. Every day
People
go because you are a public property. You understand? So
and the flags have to be lower.
Flyers and
half,
So they remain until they go to the grave. So you so right now.
So you raise
we are a property of the state.
You're raising.
We have to stay at home, be safe, and we are protected from all angles.
You're raising something interesting because then this time also compels us to learn a bit more about governance and state issues. Because as you were saying, we are used to the quote-unquote normal way of living and doing things that we're sometimes oblivious to some of these measures. We're sometimes oblivious to the rule of law sometimes, even the spheres of governance and the laws at which, or the powers that are bestowed upon the president, for example. It's a weird thing for us. It's going to be weird territory to bump into SANDF down the street, because
guns
and hopefully, I actually hope we don't get any incidents, in this 21 days where people actually abide.
Anything will.
We just need to be careful because they are not trained to deal with riots like public. They are trained to fight in wars, in battle.
Yeah.
So the police will remain there. To manage.
So the police will be the conscience that says
just to soften them up. But you must understand that their job, they are trained to deal with things decisively. So they are not there to calm you down. No, Nkox, the constitution says no. We need to. You understand? If it comes to a push, they'll brush you a bit. 1 or 2, and then
Just out of interest.
So hand you over to the police.
Do you guys know what cool drink they drink? It's gonna be a very interesting time.
I know brothers and sisters are gonna try. They're gonna try to bring these things.
Yeah.
You understand? And they don't understand that this is the only people that we believe and have bestowed all our confidence in.
But to also go back to what you said earlier, the whole solitude thing. It's probably what was needed because we've been through a lot in the last. I've seen posts where people, started saying, "Okay, 2020, enough. Now you can go."
Yeah.
So probably this is
so
what
much
we
has
needed.
happened.
Exactly. So
So
probably
much
this
has
is what we
happened,
needed.
Yeah.
To slow down, because now you're forced to not be, busy, to not deflect things that you must, pay attention to, and focus on just you and whoever else is in the house. It will feel weird for the first 7 days or so, but probably that's what we as a country needed, because every day there's some very spooky headline. There's who did not do this. There's a politician. So probably we needed this just to also reflect and
maybe slaughter a cow.
Yeah, while you're at it. Yeah.
I often hear people say, before a new year, you need to reflect and introspect and, then make goals for the following year. But essentially, they never work because if you think about it, we're constantly on the go. Because even in December, you're not really resting. No one
No.
is in solitude in December.
Actually,
And then January, it's back to normal. We
school.
recharge and so we never really have time to ourselves where we can actually sit down and reflect and introspect and say, you know what, it's time for me to actually, dig deep internally and say, what have I done with my life? Who am I? And am I happy with the state? What is my mental state? Is it a happy mental state or not, right? And speaking of this, I feel like it would also be a disservice for us to have this conversation without, digging into an expert in this field.
Yeah.
So I actually want us
we need
to
that.
actually call.
And just before you go there,
Yeah.
I'm laughing because when you say when you are in that state, I think during December period,
Yeah.
when you start making those plans, in most cases, it's when your budget is just exhausted.
That's true.
You understand? Because when you don't
It
have
doesn't
money,
come. It
your
doesn't
plans-
come
No, it doesn't. When you don't have money, your plans
from a good place. It doesn't
you've
come
got
from a good place.
Good plans, like no one can take them away from you.
Yeah.
But immediately, when January end payment comes in,
You're broke.
you understand?
You are forced to now
You're
introspect.
forced to think. Yeah, you're forced to think how.
Be alone.
You
Yeah,
understand?
how am
Yeah.
I gonna pay school fees?
Exactly my point. So I know those plans.
Maybe,
that we
maybe
made.
that's why resolutions
They never
never
work.
actually
Materialize,
work.
yeah.
Because they are informed by
circumstance.
something else.
Look, I want us
other-
to interrogate this further. Let's listen. We'll come back. We're gonna actually call a psychiatrist by the name of Nkox. Yeah. So perhaps
so
you
there
guys
won't
have
be any,
questions.
what are those things? What is that they do?
What? A couch.
Psychoanalysis.
Oh.
Thinking, they won't be psychoanalyzing us.
Yeah. No. So if you guys have any questions, maybe we can ask Nkox as to why are we so scared of being alone.
Yeah.
We'll touch base on that when we come back. For now, let's pay some bills.
Imagine that you're sick and that your drive to the doctor isn't an actual drive but a 10-kilometer walk. And the line you wait in to see a doctor stretches for hundreds and hundreds of meters on end. Then finally, when you get to see the doctor, the medicine you require is finished, or even worse, no longer available. We take some of the most important but yet simplest privileges in our lives for granted. For example, a simple headache, we would get over-the-counter meds and we'd be fine. But for a lot of people, that access to basic healthcare is little to non-existent. And this is when the Our Health Foundation came into play. One of the most important aspects of the Our Health Foundation is its ability to dispense free of charge medication to all of its patients. Medication that would otherwise be too expensive or housed far away from many rural communities. The Our Health Foundation teaches us that it's not infrastructure that saves lives, but it's the people. People who give their time and their money to the next man to see them do better and give life to the next generation.
Azisha, back on the Leadership Podcast. We're talking solitude. I'm with Will and Mpo. And we're talking just before we went to the break that we need to actually get some expert analysis. And gents, on the line, I actually have a psychiatrist by the name of Nkox. Nkox, hi.
Hi, how are you, Nkox?
I'm good. Say hi to Will and Mpo.
Hi
Will,
there.
Hi, Paul.
I'm Nkox. I hope I hope I was never your client or your patient. At some point.
Maybe, I don't know.
The voice sounds familiar.
The voice sounds familiar to me, yeah.
So, Nkox, we're talking solitude now. And we're trying to find possible, reasons as to why people get anxiety when they have to be alone. What is it that we are scared of?
I wanted to ask you or ask the people that are anxious about being alone. Are you guys scared of yourself? Because, that's the only person you're going to be chilling with, yourself. So I don't understand. That's what I don't get. I wish I wasn't rendering essential services, that I could also chill at home. But unfortunately, I can't. I have to go to work. But I'm envious of people that actually get to just chill and be.
In your experience, have you had clients that are scared of being alone? And often at times, what were the common denominators?
Okay. A lot of people are scared of their own thoughts.
Thoughts.
Their thoughts, the things that you think. You know, there's a picture that goes around that has like your own thoughts are strangling you and all that. That is actually quite accurate. Because you sit there and you ruminate. You start thinking about, and most of the time we think about the bad things, the terrible things we've done, the terrible things that have happened to us, our lack of achievement. What would you like to have achieved that you didn't achieve? So now you are sitting alone with your thoughts and the things that you're supposed to be dealing with. Now you sit in there and then just you keep thinking about them and playing them over and over again in your mind. That is exactly what people with anxiety do.
But then, Doc, isn't that essentially, if let's say I'm already going through problems in my life, I'm not happy about my life for whatever reason, isn't that the state of being generally, even through my everyday life, as I'm interacting with people? How is it different then if I'm alone? How does it worsen when I'm alone?
When you're sitting with people in Nkox, you can start, the people have this way of invalidating their wrongs. I mean, come on, Nkox's life is worse than mine. I mean, mine can't be that bad. So when you start telling me about your bad, I start making myself feel better by saying, no, people have worse problems than me. I mean, listen to Nkox. So we play this denial. We build a little cocoon where we stay and, we just watch life go by. So when you're sitting by yourself, you are forced to confront. I always tell my patients, you are here to come confront your demons. So when you're sitting by yourself, you are forced to confront each and every failure that you've had and actually deal with it. It's uncomfortable, but it has to be dealt with. A lot of the achievements you've had, it's time to sit and be grateful for them. You sit there and you become grateful. Sometimes you want to be a little pompous and arrogant about owning 5 properties, but you're scared to make people uncomfortable. So in the next 21 days, you wake up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I am the. I mean, come on, I have 5 properties. I'm the king of the world. That type of thing. So it's time for us to come and acknowledge everything that is happening in our lives. Question ourselves, question our own existence, or whatever the case may be. Question a higher power that you worship, or whatever the case may be. So this is a time period where we have to sit and confront ourselves, no matter how uncomfortable we make ourselves.
And for me, Nzwagi, that's actually a big problem. The last time I was alone for an extended period of time, I actually resigned. At my work, because then I realized actually, what means more to me than a fancy title. No disrespect, fancy title. Working for the biggest bank on the continent. So the probabilities are maybe more people will also realize certain things that might have to take them out of their comfort zone, which is a good thing, but as it happens, it does not necessarily feel as good.
It's an uncomfortable process.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. Usunzaki, hi again. For me, I think I agree with Abitu that when you have that self-reflection during the quiet period, we make decisions. One of my weaknesses is that I will then entertain other ideas, which they always have cost implications. 10
out of 10 times.
Yeah, they never travel. You'll never have those ideas and they're just sitting on their own and they're bringing income. No, they always step into your already crippled budget, and that's one of my challenges. I think I'll also speak to you after 21 days. Hopefully, hopefully Nkox will connect us.
If I'm not already your patient, I'm gonna.
Doc, on what point we're talking about, is exploring a good thing as a human being?
You know, the exploring is when you want to expand yourself.
Wow.
That's exploring. If I, like you, want to expand myself outside of who I already am, then it's fine. You can explore. The problem comes where you start exploring or having ideas when already you don't know who you are.
Sure.
If you don't know yourself fully, then how do you want to add on? If you don't know what makes you tick, I personally love shopping. I love shopping to the maximum. I love traveling. So right now, I'm not going to be able to go shopping. That's how I pass my time. I'm not going to be able to travel. But now, oh wait, I love reading. And I haven't read in a while because I've been so busy. So that is something that I know I also like. So I have a few books that I want to go through. But had I finished all of those things, I was going to sit here and say, you know what, I need to look into something else that I can start doing. People are always talking about series, watching series. I don't watch series. I love Comedy Central, so I watch comedies. So maybe if I start watching series, then it will be something exploring. With exploring. So I believe that if you're already comfortable in yourself and you can sit with yourself for 21 days without feeling anxious and feeling like what now, then by all means explore. Just make sure you don't spend money you don't have.
Yes.
I'm probably listening.
Yeah, no, I heard that one. Thank you for the advice, but I'm also worried about you because there's online shopping. Eh?
No.
It's not the same.
That the best experience about shopping is actually being in the store.
Okay.
Being in the store, touching this, because you can't touch stuff.
Now, yes.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is don't expand on credit. That's not good on.
Yes, pay your
That's not
debt.
good. Yeah.
No, spoken like a banker.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Doc,
yes.
how is your industry affected by all of this? And I wanna lead you into my question. I was talking to someone about how this whole situation we find ourselves in is fast tracking the so-called 4IR in our country, because now we are doing things differently. I mean, I work in broadcasting, and this past weekend I was broadcasting from my home, which is something that I've never done before in my history of broadcasting. But the situation is forcing me to do that, right? Now, are you guys being challenged as a profession to actually explore other avenues of touching base with your clients, i.e., can you do online consultations, those type of situations? Have you even touched base on that? Have you FaceTimed your client?
Look line.
Yes. Actually, our society, we've got the National South African Society of Psychiatrists. We've got the national board, and I'm the chairperson of the Free State subgroup. I actually have engaged with. Thank you. We've engaged with the medical aids to actually just find out from them, from private practice side, to find out from them what are the guidelines where we can actually see our patients. Because remember, with us, you don't have to sit with the patient and touch them. You interview the patient, especially if it's a patient that you've known. You guys have already established rapport.
Yeah.
So you guys have that good therapeutic relationship. We are actually getting a memo tomorrow from Discovery. They're going to tell us that Discovery Medical Aid, and then SASOP has already given us the guidelines, ethical considerations during this time, and a lot of, especially psychologists, they're going to be seeing their patients via what you call telepsychiatry, so it's via Skype. And then with me it becomes a little bit easier because I don't necessarily do therapy with all my patients. So I just give my patients medication because I'm a medical doctor. So I can give you a script for 6 months if you're a long-term patient that I know that you're stable on the medication. So we are exploring that. We don't do telephonic, obviously. So what we do is telepsychiatry. We Skype.
Wow.
Doc,
So that's where we're going.
we are out of time. Thank you so much for having a chat with us.
Thank you so much for for having me. You know, I always like talking.
Yeah, I know. You chose the right profession. Listen, next time I want us to talk about love languages.
The 5 love languages, are they 5?
I don't know. You will tell us.
I just know
Could be
money
10,
is one
could
of them.
expand.
Oh, you just know the money one.
Money and quality
Okay, I
time.
think there's 5. I
Okay.
think there's 5.
No, we'll
Yeah.
we'll touch base on them next time. Thank you so much for this.
No,
Cheers,
no problem.
Ntswaki.
All right, thank you so much. Bye, Will.
Bye.
Bye. See you
Bye,
guys
bye.
in my office.
So, gents, Dr. Ntswaki broke it down very nicely for us, especially from a solitude perspective.
Yeah.
It gives a bit of perspective in terms of, we are sometimes fighting demons internally, and that's part and parcel of the reason why we essentially don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
And we would find excuses not to, and would say that I'm not used to this. I'm used to being outside. This is not normal for my routines.
This is not me.
This is not me.
But it is true, eh? It's probably one of the main reasons why you don't want, why you avoid being alone. Is to go through whatever this, nonsense you're trying to avoid. But with lockdown, chances are you'll be forced to now think through whatever this is you've been putting, aside for however long. But now if you look at the benefit side, it probably may be one of the only thing you needed to maybe take a step further.
And also to stay alive,
To stay alive.
Yeah.
That is true.
So there are, I think I see more positive than. Yeah.
Have you guys broken down your routines?
Yeah, I have started.
Have you made a schedule?
Yeah, I made a schedule. The first week is to do all the things that I was excited about once I
Heard about the
I heard about
lockdown.
the thing, yeah.
Okay.
So that will be 7 days. And the other 7 days, I'll go into depression.
I can't
Don't
believe.
spend.
Yeah.
Don't spend. Don't
Yeah,
spend.
yeah, it's going to be depression.
Okay.
Uh,
What do you mean?
No, but in a light way. Like, remember you have done everything that you wanted to do in your first 7 days.
Okay.
You understand? That's what
Extend
happens.
them.
It's a-
Extend them to 14 days.
Yo.
Yes, no, you can't stretch them. Because
They're unstretchable.
they are limited to budget.
Okay.
You understand? Because
Okay, I see.
remember, your budget, you're going to consume most of the things in the first 7 days.
Yeah.
Is it?
All of the things here, you're going to watch your favorite series, you're going to do this, you're going to
Eating
watch
all the
this, you're gonna-
snacks.
You're
Eating
going
all
to
the
play
snacks.
all the
YouTube, no snack.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's 7 days. That's when now you are fighting with yourself.
Okay.
Then the remainder of
this-
the 7 days is to recover from both activities.
Yeah.
And prepare yourself. And remember, we've got another anxiety. Ne? Is that we don't know what happens after 21 days. You understand? So you're waking. So we're going to be working full time. Your minds are going to work full time. It's going to be crazy.
think of it.
And it's crazy.
I actually also didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
Well, almost every weekend, I'm in solitary with the family. But like you said earlier about, now this whole thing being
Confined.
and it's gonna probably just add another element that,
Didn't think about.
I didn't think about. But for me, it's scary on both sides. But I'm tilted towards benefits. I won't be spending. I can assure you on that one. I won't be spending.
No one
Apparently,
will
Netflix is for free.
Yeah.
Oh,
for the-
really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there like a grace period?
Yeah, there's a notification from
Oh.
Netflix to say
I'll check
during
it out.
whatever, just check out.
Yeah. I think I'm going to revisit an old habit that I had stopped, and that is reading.
Oh yeah,
I stopped reading back in 2014.
sure.
Yeah, that's true. It's embarrassing.
That was
to
not
say.
a break, my brother. That's
Yeah.
sabbatical, like
my lifestyle changed drastically, and I had stopped reading. And I think actually,
Sure.
I took a vow. I said, whatever happens, I need to go buy some books And
you
I
can,
need to
can buy them
read.
online.
And there's that too.
Script.
Please do share.
It's been a while. Since 2014.
Yeah,
so
I
can
don't
understand.
even know that.
Yeah, so we
Will
have
is Will is
ebooks.
always schooling me on these technological advancements.
I also tried to school my brother, but and you guys
and the
are
irony is
so,
that I should
so
be
young.
schooling you.
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be the other way around. You guys are so young. So there's this ebooks.
Yeah.
A lot of apps.
Yeah.
We just buy one book and it's there for forever.
I'll-
But now the
I'll
other
be
thing is
supporting
I could read about, like now I'm reading about 5 books at a go, because you have different mood, on different days. So you don't want to go for some serious stuff. You want to go perhaps for
Lighter.
lighter.
Can we touch base a week from now in our comfort
Yes.
of our homes?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's this app. It's called Zoom. Download the app.
Zoom.
Zoom.
As in Z-O-O-M.
ZOOM.
Okay, Zoom.
Download Zoom and let's Zoom in a week's time. Just to touch base on how are we doing, and just to check up on each other, and maybe we can just continue on this conversation and
Yeah.
just to
Nice.
reflect.
No,
On,
that'll be good.
Yeah.
Just for me, in closing, if that is the case, the reading books, no, I won't be reading any book.
The
I'll
two
be
sets
providing
free.
you guys with content on CTC College,
good,
on
good.
qualifications you can do in that spare time.
okay.
Good. Strictly 10 days, your digital assessment, everything online.
Okay.
That's good.
Maybe we'll then load a video,
Yeah.
on taking you through the whatever the module. The module will be focusing on health and safety, basically.
Yeah.
At the comfort of your home.
Love that.
So the part of the practical that we're going to use is your home. Like, we're just gonna use your safety in your own house.
Yeah.
We'll align your qualification to what you should be doing in your own home
nice.
in order to stay safe. So
Yeah.
that's basically what I'll be doing, except that that will be the 7 days.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll use it for the first 7 days. The second one, do all the exciting stuff. Not that this one is not exciting, but the second week
Yeah.
will be the exciting stuff. And then the third one, I'll go into depression in case they extend the time. We don't know what's going to happen. But
I'm looking
get your
forward.
data, guys, and let's keep in touch.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so
Zoom.
much for coming.
Z-O-O-M.
Yeah, ZOOM. We're zooming in the next 2 weeks.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much for watching
Thank you.
the Leading Podcast. Let's touch base again in a week's time. We will keep you entertained with more content here on CGN. Also, do comment your views. I also want to know from you as to how are you going to be dealing with, your isolation and your solitude. Also, what is it that you are looking forward to? What is it that you're not looking forward to? Extend the discussion in the comment section. This is the Leading Podcast. Away.